Shalom, Yasharala. I want to give infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And give double honors to our teachers, the apostles of Great Millstone. And salutation to you, sincere. I can push this truth across the four winds. I came across this clip on Euro News, and it was talking about Russia implementing, they passed a law where it's illegal for anyone to slander the government on the internet. All right? There's going to be a domino effect. America's going to do it. This is the beginning of all of these nations implementing totalitarian societies that's going to be governed by draconian laws. If you type something on the internet that's anti-government or speaking ill about the government any kind of way, you'll be able to be taken to jail. All right. Now the draconian laws haven't got implemented yet because the penalty is a few days in jail and a few fines. But it's going to get to the point where they're going to put you to death. They're going to lock you up indefinitely for speaking against the government. All right. And this is what we've been prophesying. This is the times we're living in. All right. And this is the birth pain right here. This is the genesis of it. All right. I'm about to play this clip and show. Although Russia is doing it, America's going to do it too. America's going to follow suit too. And America has started campaigning to do this, shut down the internet and come against those that speak against this satanic government. All right. But here, without further ado, here go the clip.
Well, no more critics or jokes about Vladimir Putin will be allowed in internet. This is probably how the news.
She say no more critiquing the government, no more joking about the government. All right, the law has been passed. If you say anything ill against the government can come down on you through an unrighteous decree, of course, and throw your ass in jail.
Future will look like as the Russian lower house of parliament has just adopted in the third reading this very controversial law. It bans any publication that shows disrespect to the state's institutions, the symbols of
no disrespect. All right. So is that not going to be the beginning when this motto is brought to America? Guess what? We're anti-government. We're pro Yahweh Shema Shai. All right. This satanic system is against the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shema Shai. The prophets come out and speak against the nations that have overtaken us. Let me get a precept. All right. So this is the beginning of the famine of the word, because I'm going to go start off in Jeremiah. And it reads, this Jeremiah 28:8. All right. A simple scripture everybody brings out. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied against many countries. So if you're in Russia and you prophesying against Russia, guess what happened? The government going to come down on you. When America takes this same model and you prophesy against America, the government's going to come down on you. See, here comes the start of that persecution against the prophets and against great kingdoms of war and evil and of pestilence. We're prophesying against the great kingdoms of the earth, preferably America. We're telling them war is about to come to this place, evil is about to befall this place, and pestilence is about to take over this place. All right? Now we're living in the days where they're going to pass laws, and for you telling the truth of the scriptures, you're going to be deemed a heretic or public enemy number one. All right? And they're going to want to kill you. All right? That's the part of the totalitarian laws getting put in the earth. That's the beginning. But then you're going to have the totalitarian system put in place. Then it's going to be followed by draconian laws. For speaking against the government, they'll put you to death, behead you. All right? That's why the famine of the word is going to get implemented. All right?
The state, like the Russian flag, for example, the law enforcement agencies, so basically all the deputies, for example, and the head of the state will be protected by this law. Those who violate it face huge fines, and if they repeatedly violate it, they face up to 15 days in prison. However, they will be given...
They talking about only 15 days and huge fines. That's because the draconian laws, that's going to come next. It's going to become severely 100 times more stiffer than you paying fines and spending $15 days in jail, because the draconian phase of it hasn't been implemented yet. All right, and this is what draconian means: of relating to or characteristics of the Athenian statements, Draco, of his severe codes of laws. And you got to read up on this guy Draco and see when he was in power the kind of laws that he was putting people to the death about just simple misdemeanor things. He was just he was ruling over them with an ironclad fist. All right, and it means rigorous, unusual, severe, or cruel. So just for disagreeing with something the government says, they'll be putting you to death. That's what was going on during the times of Draco. If you just said or disagreed with him, they would do cruel and unusual punishment on your ass. All right, torture you, kill you. All right, for something simple, or what you deem simple. Okay, so it's gonna come to the point. It's gonna be much more severe than them finding you and putting you in jail for 15 days. No, it's going to get to the point where they're going to kill you for disagreeing with the government. They're going to send you to the chopping block and behead you and hang you from the gallows. Okay, for especially, preferably the men of the Lord who's prophesying against this system. Okay.
A day in order to destroy and delete this publication. And what does disrespectful mean? Actually, the makers gave their explanation that they said that it could be any publication that offends human dignity and public morality.
All right. So public morality in America is they deem it morale for two men to lay together, and they deal in morale that two men can marry. You have laws in America that's passed that it's lawful for humans to lay with animals and have sex. Soon pedophilia is going to be lawful and legal. So if you have a man of the Lord prophesying against those injustices, all right, you're going to be deemed you're going to be deemed an insurgent against the government for just what? Standing for what's right. In America, it's lawful for a woman to kill a baby, all right? An unborn fetus in his last trimester, this 9 month, the month that the baby is supposed to be delivered, okay? That's lawful. So if you speak against that you're going to be deemed disrespectful against the state, and they're going to be able to use cruel and unusual punishment against you just for being in alignment and fearing Yahweh Shema Shai's word and standing up for what's right against the evildoers. Okay? These are the times we're coming in. All right?
Is the new law being seen in Russia? What's people's response to it?
Well, many critics here in Russia say that basically this law will throw Russians back into the USSR, and that any publication in the internet, any critics, any political critics, and any innocent joke could be interpreted as this violation of the respect. So the critics say that we are coming back to the censorship, but this time the censorship will be in the internet, and the internet now is the only space in Russia where many Russians could freely express their sarcasm towards the politics. It's the only space where such opposition leaders like Alexei Navalny could share their views, and even some lawmakers here were very critical towards this law. One liberal Democrat deputy said that if you stop calling a fool, he will not stop being a fool. And another deputy from the communist fraction explained me why the communists decided not to support this law. Let's take a listen.
Now, you heard her before she started ranting. She say, you're going to put us back in the days when Russia was called the USSR. All right? That's scripture being fulfilled, man. That's prophecy being fulfilled. All right, we'll go to the book of Ezekiel. And I'm going to start at 38th chapter. All right. This is Ezekiel 38:4. And it reads, "And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws and bring thee forth." All right. When they say he's going to put hooks in Russia's, when you read about Gog and the land of thy faces against Gog in the land of Magog, the scriptures talk about Russia. All right. Also known as the Medes. All right. And the Most High say he's going to put hooks in their jaws. All right. And that's spiritual. He's going to put them in the spirit that they were in the 80s during the time of the Cold War. He's going to put hooks in their jaws and put them back in that warlike, ancient warlike spirit that they were during the time of the USSR when Mikhail Gorbachev was ruling over, and they had their missiles pointed over here in America, and America had their nukes pointed over here at them. All right. And then during that time, a lot of these citizens didn't have so-called rights. All right. The government was ran like a communist government lording over the people. Okay. So that's what she said. That's what she meant when she said that. And she don't know that that's a fulfillment of prophecy. The Most High putting them back in their spirit where they want to destroy America and they hate America. That's why he put the hooks in their jaws. All right. To get them in that spirit to go down in Armageddon so the kingdom of heaven could be ushered in.
It turns out the specially created bodies, something like a prosecutor's office, will determine whether the information is decent or indecent, whether it offends the public morality, there's such a definition in this law, or it does not offend. And naturally, this will be the decision of these individuals.
You see, and when you go to the scriptures, when you go down to Amos, all right, that's why we're going to have the famine of the word. Because everything we teach is at enmity with these fucking devils, all right? And so we're going to stop teaching. The time is going to come where we're going to stop teaching and we're going to be off the grid because they're going to be hunting us for our lives. Lord willing, we're in their righteous number. They'll elect men, all right? Because we're going to be public enemy number one. They're going to want us dead or alive. Wanted, dead or alive. They're going to put bounties on our heads, all right? So on and so forth. So that's why this is the beginning of the famine of the world when they pass this legislation and that one world government is implemented. This is Amos 8:11. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh Shemel Shai, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread nor a thirst of water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right, and that's when this totalitarian system ruled by draconian laws is implemented. All of these laws and stuff are put in place to come against the prophets, to tear down the prophets, to kill the prophets. Okay, and the prophets we're going to go and hide. We're going to be as pilgrims in the earth. All right, and I'm gonna just bring out the definition for totalitarian. Totalitarian. All right. Totalitarian. And it reads, of relating to a government that has almost complete control of the lives of its citizens, does not permit political opposition. We're opposition. We stand for righteousness. This is a satanic government that stands for wickedness. All right. So we're in direct opposition of this totalitarian system. All right. And they're going to want to put us to death for it, all right, of being a political system in which those in power have complete control and do not allow people freedom to oppose them. And we're in direct defiance of this system because this system is satanic. It's anti-Mashiach. And we're going to take it down by force. All right, but this is how they're ruling it. They're using force. Let me get that. Matthew the 11th chapter. All right, is it 11? Where is it? Here we go. This is Matthew 11:12. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violence taken by force. So that's their way of taking They already have the kingdom right now. They're in their heaven, but they want to keep it by force. All right? They want to keep it by force. That's why they're implementing that totalitarian system and governing it by draconian laws. They do brute force are going to try to bring in their new world order and fulfill their enterprise. And they're going to do it by killing the prophets, by hunting down the prophets and coming against the prophets, because the prophets are the only ones with the knowledge that could take down the system. And we're going to do it through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shai when our great king come back to the planet Earth. All right? And we're going to go and hide. We're going to be off the grid, and we're going to have wisdom and knowledge is what's going to stabilize us. Okay? But before we go off the grid, we're tearing this place down spiritually by teaching the truth of the scriptures. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And we're freeing the elect, man, marking the elect men, but through the foolishness of preaching, man, exhortation, calling out. All right. So with that, Lord willing to sit down was edifying to the hearers. I want to give infinite honors to Yahweh Bashim Shai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to you, Sincere, pushing this truth across the four winds, Kwan Yasharala.